YouTube Hangout. Super excited to be here. I am with a hardcore member of Believe Nation, the man behind Best You Pro. Welcome aboard, man. I know we tried to get this going before, but here it is. This is the official one. What's up? Welcome aboard.
I'm glad to be here. It's good to see you, Evan. Also good to be here. All right, so today we want to talk about your book, Your One Word. And I'm going to preempt this just by saying anybody who hasn't gotten the book yet, go to Amazon right now and order your copy. It's probably the best exercise you're going to do today. So just to give you a little background about Evan, Evan Carmichael is a Canadian entrepreneur who has been helping entrepreneurs for over a decade now. He is the author of Your One Word, The Powerful Secret to Creating a Business and Life That Matters. He has created over 3,000 videos to help entrepreneurs to realize their full potential. And today we're going to be talking with Evan about his one word, which is believe. So Evan, you can just give us a little background into the construction of Your One Word.
Sure. Thank you for having me. This is an honor and a great pleasure here. The book is divided into 3 sections: core, campaign, company. Core is about identifying who you are as a human being, what your most important core value is. It's applicable whether you are an entrepreneur or not. If you are a human being, you have a core value that is important, and it's extremely important that you understand what it is so that you can start living a life more on purpose as opposed to just being subject to what other people want for you. So that's core. Then we get into campaign, and campaign is more for the entrepreneurs and the marketers to now take that core value that we have and start making some money from it, from our marketing. And then company is the last section. And now it's not just about marketing, but building an entire company from hiring and firing and processes and investors, all of the things that you need to do to build a successful company through using your authentic one word. So core, campaign, company are the 3 sections.
Okay, great. Evan, again, in terms of the background for Your One Word and for particularly what you do on YouTube today, I find that most entrepreneurs tend to find their origin within a crisis. So could you just give us a little background into what it is that made the mission of helping entrepreneurs?
So I think I had the mission of helping entrepreneurs before I had the one word of believe. For me, I had my first company when I was 19 and struggled a lot with it. And when I sold it at 22, I was really frustrated in that there wasn't a lot of resources available to help people like me. I felt like I was kind of lied to. I thought it was going to be really easy. You know, you read the articles and overnight success stories, and I felt like, why am I doing so poorly? Everybody else starts a business and has so much success, and here I am struggling to get anything going. And I wanted to help out other entrepreneurs. I wanted to continue to learn myself and also to give back and help entrepreneurs out of the massive struggle that I had in building my company. So once we turned the corner, and then once eventually we sold the business, I spent some time giving back through speeches, through interviews to help out other entrepreneurs. And it filled me up. It made me come alive. And so I wanted to keep doing that. Believe came later, which was I was trying to figure out something felt missing. I felt like I could be doing more. I felt like things are good. It wasn't a crisis, just I could be doing more. I was frustrated that I was kind of being a little lazy and that I wasn't reaching the potential that I felt like I had. And I actually thought it was a marketing tagline problem. You're like, oh, what's our tagline for our company going to be? And as I started going through that process, I realized it's more than just a marketing tagline. It's me. Like, what do I stand? Not just what my business stands for. What do I stand for personally as a human being? And when I figured that out, then I brought it to my business. It was about believe. Everything I touched that was around believe had way bigger impact, way bigger growth, way more results than my old stuff. And so I decided to rebrand my business around believe. And then I went across America finding different companies from a $50,000 full-time income startup to a $150 million company and everywhere in between, of businesses who had gone through that process as well, of having one word and building a company around it. So there was no blueprint. We all just tried to figure it out on our own. And so I thought I should write the blueprint to allow people to build a purpose-driven business that makes them happy, makes them a lot of money, and helps them have a big impact. So that's what it is.
Okay. All right. So you talk about going across America and then doing, I believe, oh, it's across Canada, right?
No, America. No, it's across America.
Oh, America. Okay. Right. And giving these speeches, trying to find other companies that have done the same thing. And you give quite a few examples of those in the book. One of the questions that I wanted to ask you was, well, just from listening to you just now, I've realized that you actually discovered your one word after your first business. So in retrospect, could you just tell us how it is that your one word believed actually helped you in establishing your first business from inception and then getting it to the point where you actually sold it?
Sure. I think one important thing to understand about your one word is that it's always been with you. It's not just something new that you discover and then, oh, now I'm going to do this, but I never was before. It's always been with you. You just haven't realized it. And because you don't realize it, then you can't make powerful decisions. When you have the awareness, then you can leverage that to help you grow faster. So I always had believe in me. It's always been a part of me. I just didn't understand it. I couldn't articulate it. I didn't know it. And so I look at my first business. Why did I turn down the dream job that I always wanted, being paid $80,000 to $100,000 starting salary, when I'm making $300 in my business? Well, because I believed in it, right? Like I wanted to see it happen, right? When I decided to quit on my business partner in that company, and I told him I quit, and then the next day I wake up and I go back because I didn't want to quit on it. Why? Well, because I still believed in what I was doing, right? It's always been a part of me. Just realizing it now allows me to make faster and better decisions than I did before. Because before it was like randomly things were happening and always kind of reacting to what other people are doing instead of me planning it out with what I want to build. And so Believe came from my parents. You know, the picture behind the wall in my office is me when I'm 7 years old with my parents. And they would always tell me I was like a Streley Carmichael. I could do anything I wanted, and believe comes from them. And so even then I believed, like they helped me believe in what I was doing. But I didn't set out to say, I'm going to make my life about Believe. I'm going to make my next business about Believe. I'm going to purposely schedule in Believe every day to help me be that best version of myself. And so for everybody who goes through and reads the book, you'll realize that you have had these habits, you have had these moments in your life that have been really great high moments. And most of them happen by random occurrences coming together. I want you now to not just experience those things randomly. I want you to plan for them, and I want them to be attracted to you, because now you're living that life more on purpose.
Right. And you give some really practical advice as to how persons can actually do that. I mean, not just through the book, which is a really great presentation of how you can practically apply that advice, but also through a lot of your YouTube videos, particularly through, I particularly like the Espresso that you do in the mornings, as well as the Mentor Me series. Those have been really, really helpful. And your commentary on most of those videos tend to help us in terms of giving actionable steps that you can take in terms of creating a business around whatever it is your core values really are. So another thing that I wanted to ask was, you spoke extensively about Believe in the book, Your One Word. Is there anything about Believe itself, as in your one word, or your company, that you didn't necessarily get to put in the book?
One of the things that I kind of wish that I could change about the book afterwards is the importance of the credo. So the credo is breaking up your one word into 3 different words. So adding a little more clarity and definition. So for me, Believe breaks down into self-confidence, breaks down into passion, believe in what you're doing, and then breaks down into conviction, believe that it's going to work out. So believe, the one word, is self-confidence, passion, conviction. I put that in the marketing section of the book, which is important because I want you to be able to market your purpose. If people feel connected to your story and why you're doing this and what it means, they're much more likely to feel connected to you and want to buy whatever product or service you're selling. But it's super important on a individual basis. Like I think about how I'm using it in my companies. Toronto Dance Salsa as an example. I have people go through the process. They find their one word, they find their credo, even though they're not going to create a marketing campaign. It's really an important part of the self-awareness that can help guide you on your path, even if you never want to be an entrepreneur. And so I didn't give it enough importance in the book. So if I could change one thing, that would be one of them.
Okay. Well, you mentioned self-awareness just now, and even in the book, we see where a lot of the exercises are geared towards helping persons to become more self-aware. You say that you should stop talking to more people and then start talking more to yourself. What was it that actually helped you the most? Which exercise in the book that actually helped you the most to become the self-aware person that you currently are? And are you still becoming more self-aware?
Wow, we're going deep on that one. Let me take that in parts. I like it. So it's a little bit different from my journey because I didn't have the blueprint. So I didn't necessarily go through all these steps for myself to go and find it. I had to write the blueprint from my own experience and then from also working with other people. So as an example, one of the exercises in the book to help you find your one word is go negative. Think about what you hate. Think about the people you can't stand being around. What do they represent? What's the anti-word? And then go and flip the opposite, and that can be your one word. I didn't have to do that. I brought that in because when I was talking to some people and helping them find their one word, they couldn't find it by going positive. I found it by going positive. They couldn't do it. It's like, okay, how am I going to help this person? Okay, what if we go negative? And like, oh, okay, I got it. It's like, okay, great, we got to put that in. So I think, though, the most important exercise, if I was like redoing it again, would be the fact that it's a constant. To think about it, most people can't jump out of their immediate situation. So they'll think of it as like what I want to do for this week, or my word for the week, or my word for the month, or word for the year or something. It's not. It's forever. It's forever. I'm forever believe. I always have been and I always will be. And having that mental framework to think that this is what I'm still going to be in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that helps add more perspective to help you find the one thing that's really important to you and not be limited by a short-term viewpoint. And so I think me thinking back to like my parents and the lessons they taught me and the movies I liked and all that stuff really helped give me the perspective to figure out that believe was for me.
Oh, I see. All right, and I guess all of that plays a big part in helping you become more self-aware because you're getting the perspective of other persons as well, in terms of not just writing the book, but in terms of coming up with your one word, as well as to help them to discover theirs. In terms of a person's one word, do you think that a person's one word can evolve, or does it change over time? You know, you said it's forever, but can it evolve, or do the aspects of it, like the credo, can that change?
Yeah, I think I don't think it changes over time. I think you may start off with the wrong one. And so this has happened a few times with people where, again, because they're not thinking of it as a long-term thing, they're stuck in their immediate environment and their immediate situation, and they pick the wrong word. So as an example, I had someone go through the process and he was having a hard time dealing with his colleagues, getting into big fights all the time. And so he said, my one word is integrity, because these people are not treating me with integrity. So my one word is integrity. And then once he got out of that work environment, wasn't dealing with those people anymore, he realized that, okay, integrity is still important to me, but it's not the thing for me. You know, I'm about something else. And so it's not rejecting integrity. It's just integrity is only a small piece of me that I really badly needed in that moment, but is not my forever thing. There's something bigger. and he switched. And so it's not uncommon for people to switch their words. It's usually the case so that they're not thinking long term and they're just stuck in the immediate. But then once they switch, it's very rare to have somebody switch again. It's like this is the one that is for me. And if anything, with time, it should only become more and more clear. So I'm gonna as much as believe I am now, just wait till 30 years from now. I'm gonna be all believe.
You're going to be more believe.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, I have had a similar experience, and the question actually originated from a personal experience in the sense that I thought that having gone through the exercise, my one word would actually be persevere. But after looking at it in retrospect, then I realized that, okay, I may have conceptualized persevere as my one word based on the fact that we were having some issues at Best You Pro International, and we needed to push through, to persevere through those challenges. But after redoing the exercises, we find, and this is personal again, I find that everything around me is around success. I have a book, I have a library of over 50 books, and the main topic of everyone is essentially success. Your top 10 rules for success. I watch one of those videos every day, and I share that with the Best You Pro International community. I'm normally subscribed to Success Magazine. I watch all their videos. I read all the issues. So after a reassessment, I find that success really is my one word. That's really what I'm always about. It was just that in that particular instance, we were having some issues through which we needed to persevere. And so having done the exercise at that point, I probably chose the wrong word. So in that way, it was an important question. So another question, as it relates to helping entrepreneurs after reading your one word, what's the one action that you would recommend they take in terms of building up their business after reading your one word?
I think the most important thing you can do if you have a copy of your one word and you're reading it is actually do the exercises in core. A lot of people just read a book. Like, a lot of people don't even read a book, by the way. A lot of people just buy a book and it sits there on their shelf and like one day I'm gonna get to it. A lot of people will buy 50 books and then not do anything with them, right? So like, first of all, read the book. You know, you made an investment, read the book. But then I think actually doing the exercises, if you do the exercises in core and you actually think about it, it forces you to reflect on your life. Like, you cannot help but if you do those exercises in the core section, then think, am I living my best life? You're gonna have to make some changes. It will just happen. And so I think a lot of people too many times just read the book and don't do anything with it. So actually finding out your one word or getting close, like by the way, like, so you have your perseverance and success. Like, perseverance is part of success, right? Like, yeah. Maybe perseverance is part of your credo that success is your one word. And in 20 years, you're still going to care about success. You're still going to care about perseverance. It's not like, now I'm this lazy guy who doesn't care about anything and I just, right? Like, you're still going to care about it. So I think doing that exercise will open up a lot of avenues for you. And especially if you're unhappy with where you're at right now, it's probably because you want to be living a certain way. You just don't know how to do it. And this will open the path to help you get there.
All right. Thank you. All right, I'm seeing that our time is going, but in terms of advice to upcoming entrepreneurs, what would be, or particularly in this case, since we're talking about your one word, to an upcoming author who wishes to be an entrepreneur, what would be your number one piece of advice to a person like that?
I would say being an author is an entrepreneur. And treat it like a business. If your goal is to be an author, that's what you want to do, then if you want to have a lot of success, treat that like your business. And so it's not just enough to write a book. You have to market the book. Like, writing the book, as hard as that is, and every author will tell you this, writing the book sucks, is painful, is slow, it just drains you. Writing the book sucks. and then marketing a book is worse. Writing the book is the easy part. And so a lot of authors don't do any of the marketing. A lot of the authors don't get out there, don't promote it, don't have an audience, don't showcase it. And you need to figure out what your marketing plan is going to be, especially now. It's so easy to write a book. There's so many people writing books. Like, look at how many books are published every single day. Tons. The only way to get a deal with a big company is if you've already had a successful book or you have a big audience, right? Like, I got a deal because I have an audience. So you need to treat your writing as a business. You are an entrepreneur. Just like if I was selling, if I'm selling coffee, right? Like, making coffee isn't enough. I have to sell it.
No.
I have to market it, right? I either have to have a coffee shop or I need to sell into coffee shops. Like, making your product isn't enough. And too many artists and writers get stuck in that mode of all they do is they write and they create, but you have to get out and market it. And if it's not you, then you need to find a business partner to help you get out and do it. Treat it like a business. So, tell yourself you are an entrepreneur. You're not just an author. You have to be a business person.
All right. Well, thank you, Evan. In terms of reaching you, could you just tell us how we can reach you? What's the best way to reach you? We know that you have the website, etc. So you can just give us your handles.
Yeah. So, if you're trying to buy the book, wherever you buy books, you can find it. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you buy books, it's there. For reaching me, I spend the most time on YouTube and Twitter. So if you're watching YouTube videos, I'm there a lot. I'm on Twitter as well, personally. Also on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat to a lesser degree. So depending on where you live, you're likely to find me, but YouTube and Twitter are my top two.
All right. Well, thanks again, Evan. It was a pleasure, and it's always a pleasure to be a part of the Believe Nation community, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks very much.
I love it, man. Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
All right.